Okay, today we'll dive some more deep into Bash. Today we'll discuss what are variables and arrays and how to declare them in Bash scripting. Bash is an untyped language, which means no data types like int, char, float, like Python. So what are variables? Like in any other language, in Bash also variables are used to store the data so that we can use that variable anywhere inside our program. So let's start with a basic example and open the same kgf.sh file. You have to write I to start writing anything on the script. Let's declare a variable villain in the KGF. Who is the villain in the KGF1? None other than Garuda. To print the name of the villain, you have to use $villain. To escape the editor, you have to use escape colon WQ and exclamation, which means write and quit, which saves the file. To execute the file, use /kgf.sh. Look, name of the villain in the KGF1 was printed. Now, if I don't want to change the name of the villain in the KGF1, what I have to do? Let's again open the kgf.sh file. Now I'll reassign the variable villain as Adira and save the file. If I execute the file, I'll see no doubt Adira. But Adira is not the villain in the KGF1, right? Now I'll reopen the file again and put read only before villain. If I save the file and execute, now I see the variable villain is read only, which means Garuda is irreplaceable villain in the KGF1. Okay, now let's move to arrays. I hope most of you know about the arrays. Anyways, when we want to store multiple values in a single variable, then arrays come to the point. Now let's open the same kgf.sh file and declare an array. This is a syntax to declare an array in the bash. Each value in the array is separated by space. As I already mentioned, bash is an untyped language. I can store any content in the array. To print every element in the array, we use curly braces, arr of star or at the rate, anything. Both are used to print the entire elements in the array. For suppose if you want to access the fourth element in the array, then you have to write echo curly braces arr of 3. Like in any other languages, here also indexing starts from 0. Element in the third index is KGF. If I execute the file, I have to see 2 times whole array must be printed in KGF. Now let's concatenate the array to already existing array. I'll again open the same kgf.sh file. I will write arr plus equal to a new array. Now the array containing Narachi and Rocky Bai will be attached to array arr. Now let's print whole arr array. Echo curly braces arr of at the rate and save the file. If I execute the file, I'll see Narachi and Rocky Bai was attached to the arr array. Now let's remove an element from the array. I will again open this kgf.sh file and use I to insert. For suppose if I want to remove the fifth element from the array, I'll write unset arr of 4. As Narachi and Rocky Bai array was also appended to arr array, the fifth element in the arr array would be Narachi. If I try to print the whole array and save the file, if I execute using /kgf.sh, we observe Narachi was not present in the result. For suppose if I want to append two arrays into third array, I will again open the same kgf.sh file and replace arr plus with some other name. Now I'll combine both these arrays and put it in the another array. We already know that $arr of star and $arr of at the rate both used to get all the elements in the array, right? Now if I try to print the array, all the elements in both the arrays must be printed on the screen. If I execute the script, I must see all the elements. Okay, why only one element was printed? Let's reopen the file and debug. Okay, instead of writing $arr of iterate or star, I have just written $ARR. Okay, I also don't know. It just printed the first element of the array. Okay, both ARR of 0 and ARR will print the first element of the array. If I again try to execute, we observe all the elements from both arrays was printed. Okay, next, if you want to slice the array, which means in some cases, if you want some specific number of elements from particular position in an array, this is called array slicing. Now let's again open the same old kgf.sh file. For suppose if I want 3 elements from 0th index, I write $ARR of star, which means the entire array colon 0 colon 3, which means from 0th position I'm expecting 3 elements. From ARR array, this returns 3 elements, and these 3 elements are stored in array 1 array. If I try to print what is there in array 1, I'll write $array 1 iterate. Now 1, 2.3, yes, from ARR array must be printed. If I execute the file, the result was as expected. Okay, if you want to print the length of the array, then let's open the file. Let's clear everything. To print the length of the array, first of all we'll write the syntax for printing whole array. If you put hash before ARR, then size of the array or number of elements in the array will be printed on the screen. Now let's declare a map, which means key value pair. Till now we have accessed the elements of an array using indices. Now let's try to access them using names. For that, let's open our same kgf.sh file. Let's delete everything. To create a map, you have to write declare -a and name of the map. The syntax was similar to declaring an array, but here we also write keys to recognize. Now let's create a map where place is KGF and hero is our Rocky Boy. Here, place and hero are keys and KGF and Rocky Boy are respective values for them. If I want a value for a key hero, then I'll write echo $myArray of hero. Instead of writing some 0 or 1 or 2, as this is a map, we use keys to get the value instead of indices. If I execute, I'll see our favorite. Okay, in the next video we'll cover some strings, functions, loops, and much more in Bash.